Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 13th of September, 2023. I'm Dave with Nelson Creek Farm. That little pinpoint of light you're looking at is the morning star. I doubt that the GoPro will pick it up, but right there, yeah, I don't think it's picking it up, is the sliver of the moon coming up. So, Farmer Dave, why are you out so early this morning? Well, I got a lot of things that going on. Couldn't sleep, back's hurting again, knees hurting. So decided just to get up and get at it. So today you got a lot of things to put together and put in a lineup for the auction. Yes, we got the LS tractor back from its 50-hour warranty checkup, and we'll do a tractor review on that. So that'll be coming up as a separate video, and stay tuned. You'll have to wait and see what else we got going on today, because there's a lot of it. Say, did y'all hear that our federal government through the FDA has finally approved artificial meat for us humans to consume? Yeah, well, I went to a seminar to learn all about this fake meat, and they had samples of other types of meat. Some are really common, some we don't see very often. They had the usual pork, chicken, beef, that sort of thing there, and fish. But they also had donkey, which I'd never tried before. I've tried buffalo and, of course, all the rest of it, but yeah, donkey meat. So I tried some. Well, I can tell you what, I don't recommend it any. I really don't. It tasted like as. There. What I'm doing is I'm reattaching the cross brace here on the old farmhand loader, trying to get it put back together so we can get it out here and put it on the auction. Yeah, so that was one of the first projects I'm doing this morning. That isn't where that side was, but it's close enough. Yeah, so we're going to get this put back on here. This is a spreader, keeps everything in alignment. Plus, it also acts as a roll bar in case something comes rolling back down on top of the lift arm. So this helps keep the operator safe. So we're going to put that back on. The sun's now coming up. It's colder now than it was earlier. It's a nice 56 degrees right at the minute. Yeah, that's okay. We'll get this put together. Okay, that's the last of that. Now what I'm going to do is get the new LS over here, get a chain wrapped around this with the bucket, and lift this. And we'll drag it out to the field for the auction line, get it out of the show area. So my buddy that's coming over to get the walnut trees can drive through here with his truck and trailer and hook them up and cut them up and get them gone. Yeah, something in that order. Yeah, let's get this thing fired up and see what it does for us today. The little plug light is just about there. It's off. Yay, it's alive. Before I get to moving that old farmhand loader, we're going to go prop up the front of the New Holland hay baler and get the block under that jack so it's up out of the dirt a little bit. So we're going to go wander out there and do that right now. All right, we'll line up on that front hitch of that thing and we'll lift her up. There we go. Get that puppy up in the air, something kind of like that, and then we'll put that block under it. Okay, there's the block for that. And I really don't want to give up this pin, but we're going to put a pin in the drawbar of this thing, so if somebody wants to buy it and haul it and get it out of here, they can. Yeah. Okay, that little project's done. Okay, now to hook onto this thing and get it drug out of here. Alrighty, let's see if we can't get this thing picked up and, by golly, moved out of the show area here. Yeah, yep. We need to put the tractor in four-wheel drive, it looks like. Yeah. Back end is coming up on the LS. Need to put that counterweight on. There we go. Yeah, we're moving. We're going to have a little bit of a trick here. The LS is a tad bit light in the back end, so it's not wanting to steer this loader very well. Okay, let's see if we can pick that loader up enough now that I've reattached the chains that we can maybe steer a little bit here. Well, that farmhand loader has been the biggest pain in my tuchus that I've had recently. Yes, it has been. I've spent the better part of an hour now just getting it no more than probably 60-70 feet. Right now we're just at tick over RPM, and we're trying to drag this thing backwards out to the field for the lineup. The LS loader doesn't have enough oomph to really lift the back end of that too high off the ground without bringing the rear tires up off the ground. I don't have my counterweight on, which wouldn't do any good anyway. I don't have any weight in the counterweight box, so yeah, we're just inching this thing out here gently, getting up on 2 or 3 wheels on occasion. But yeah, we'll have it out here in the lineup shortly. I'm going to have to probably turn and hook on, do something a little different here because I'm getting over close to that east fence. So what I'm doing is I've got one hand on the joystick, because if the tractor starts to tilt again, or the loader starts to act like it's going to tilt and flop over on its side, I've got to drop it on the ground right quick. Yeah, so I'm not being very successful in making a turn. I've got the wheels almost at about a 35-40 degree angle, and we're still heading towards the fence line here behind me, but we'll get her there. Well, there's the farmhand loader finally out here in the lineup with the rest of the goodies. It is back a ways from what I would prefer it to be, but you know what? That, you know, OCD is the line. But yeah, after spending an hour trying to move that thing from where it was sitting up over there on the show area, which is about 200 feet away or 150 feet away, to out here, yeah, I'm not moving that damn thing again. I have too many other projects to do to keep arguing with that thing today, so on to the next one. Say, did you hear insurance companies are tired of paying out insurance claims for folks that have had their tent stolen while they're out camping? Yeah, if a bear runs off with your tent in the middle of the night or whatever, insurance companies say you won't be covered. That's sad. Next thing up is we're going to be picking up the bucket and getting it out there in the lineup. Then we've got to drag the old antenna pole up here. Plus, we got to get that Alice Chalmers WD-45 out of here. So, out of the show area, that is, so that I can mow all this grass area. This is the area right here that I need to mow. It's pretty nasty with overgrown weeds and whatnot this year. The reason why I'm concerned about getting that done is I have some old Ford parts that need to go in that area right there. Yeah, we're going to put some Model A and Model T Ford parts right there after I get it mowed. And yeah, all that'll be up for sale. Let's see if we can catch on to this bucket right here. That was cheating. You probably can't see it from here, but where's my finger at? Right there. And right there are a pair of tabs that had a little notch in them. Not entirely sure what those were for, but that was to attach to that other loader. They made a damn good handy spot for me just to hook onto that bucket. Now we're going to haul it on out there to the sail line. Well, there's that big bucket right there in front of the farmhand loader assembly. Yeah, that thing, they've been using it to, well, they've added on to it, and they were using it to mix concrete for some project they were doing. But yeah, that's out there in front of that, so that kind of lined everything back up again. Some of you may have noticed this little bit of a shaggy look going on today in the video. Well, what I've done is I've joined a contest at the in-town job to see who can grow the best beard in the least amount of time. So, anyway, that's why this is. But, speaking of hair, what do you call 100 rabbits hopping backwards? Any idea? 100 rabbits hopping backwards. Yeah, what is it? It's a receding hairline. Now, there's that pole that used to be part of my grandfather's ham radio antenna setup. We got it stuffed into the bucket here, and it's chained on to one of the hooks on the top. Now we'll just drag it up to the sail line. The far end of that pole has a pair of railroad ties bolted to it in such a fashion that the ties were down in the ground, and the pole was able to be unbolted on one of the bolts that went between the ties and the pole. They didn't do the bottom one, and then the thing would swing down so that the wires could be serviced and that sort of thing. Granddad didn't use a real fancy pole. In fact, it made the radio guy that used to work in the Navy kind of upset because he had fancy antennas and stuff, but yet my grandfather, on a good day with a good skip, what they call a skip, could talk to people in Australia, of all places. So yeah, with just 4 little wires running off of that top of that pole. We've got the WD-45 Alice Chalmers there hooked up, somewhat similar to what we were doing with those single front tractors with the chain around those steering knuckles. I hadn't planned on putting this thing for the winter where I'm going to park this for right now, but yeah, for right now I think what we're going to do is we're going to drag it down to the other end of the field there, like where that pole was. Yeah, you can kind of see the chain down there on that axle coming off the bucket. Yeah, so we're going to there it steers finally. Yeah, we're going to just back this thing. Well, I'm backing the LS. We're just going to run that thing clear down there to the north corner of the east field there. Depending on what type of hay baler I end up getting, one of these Alice Chalmers tractors might actually end up being the Baler Tractor. Yeah, the WD-45 is going to have enough wavos plus the live clutch to actually run a small square baler, and the D14 would probably be very apt at running a small round baler. So like I said, depending on what baler I end up with for next season is going to depend on which one of the two tractors is going to get overhauled or made running, maybe not necessarily restored, but will be made runnable for next season. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here for today. There's no sense in you folks getting bored to death watching me mow lawns. So I'm going to attack all the show area that needs to be mowed, trim around the post of the fence and that sort of thing. So we'll get on to moving the car chassis and that sort of thing tomorrow. So thank you for watching. Thank you to all the new subscribers, and thank you for sharing this with your friends and fellow co-workers and all that sort of thing. And as always, if you would, right down there, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Thank you for now. I'm Farmer Dave, wishing you well. Bye-bye.